And so that opportunity to do it that way, to do it in that, they're calling it the pro model, and it's exactly that. I walked in and I said, put my hands up, I looked outside at the weather. I had one meeting with Coach Marvin Lewis, one meeting with Coach Herm Edwards, and I'm like, I'm home. I'm at the right place. Because I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to get to coach these guys. I get to coach technique. The things that are important to me, I get to drive it home. It's not all about being a used car salesman and jumping up and down, taking my shirt off and stuff like that. I get to coach, develop people, and do this the right way. And so this was really unique. There is that perception, and it's true a lot of the time. But this place was different. It's Andre Patterson, the defensive line coach. He's now the co-defensive coordinator in Minnesota. He just got elevated, and he became the defensive coordinator at UTEP when I took the linebackers job. I got elevated from graduate assistant, and he could have, I think Mike Price, who's another mentor of mine, Mike Price forced him to keep me. But instead of pushing me to the side, he took me under his wing. He's taught me just about everything I could learn about the game of football. And so when he got the job in Minnesota, first year they had a guy. When it came open, he actually helped me get an internship there, like Tony. And then the next year it came open, but I was the linebackers guy. And so when Andre took the job, he made me learn his defensive line technique, everything, so I could coach the linebackers better. So that helped me get that job.
How much did just the scheme that you guys ran in Minnesota that originated with Mike, which goes back to Marvin, how much of a fit did that help in all this regard?
Oh, the fit, I think it was critical, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of things, no matter how much you work with somebody, the day you move away, that tree starts to splinter and things start to change. So it's really been there's really been some good synergy with Marvin and I, with Antonio putting together what they did here. Marvin and everything he's done, not just with Zim, but before, because sit with Marvin and talk about some football. He's been doing football with the Steelers, the Ravens, and he's done it. So it's really great for me to hear it, but the synergy, hey, how did you guys call this? What was the adjustment you made for that? That's exactly what I'm about. So it is huge. It's a huge fit, but it's kind of great going with Marvin because he's kind of showing me, the first two steps that happened of how we got to this call, how we got to this formation. And then there's some things that Marvin is willing to do that Zim wasn't. Zim wasn't comfortable doing a couple things that maybe Andre and I were really excited to do with the D-line, and he just was like, no, I don't want to do it. Whereas I come here with Marvin, and already off the bat, there's a couple things that, no, I want him there, and I want to try this. And so it's kind of energizing me a little bit, like, hey, we've been wanting to try this stuff for a little while. It just didn't fit what we needed. But Marvin, again, it's a great fit, but there's going to be some new stuff I'm really excited about.
You mentioned when you talk to recruits, there's the tools you want to instill in them that have tripped up people from getting to that second contract. What are a lot of those?
The majority of them are technique.
Okay.
So one of them is being a professional, understanding how to handle coaching, stuff like that, how to structure your day, things like that. I'm going to hopefully help these guys with. I will help these guys with. The majority of it is technique. So people think like when they get recruited that, you get to the NFL and they go, wow, this guy is really well coached. This guy's really well coached. But it's the opposite. We watch the film and we look at the skill set and say, this guy's fast, this guy's long, he's strong. But 90% of the time we watch that film and go, wow, this guy's messed up. He's got terrible technique, terrible hands, and he can't do what we want him to do. How are we going to fix this guy? And so we spend the first 2 to 3 years trying to fix that technique and build the muscle memory that it takes to execute that technique at the highest level. So what I tell these young guys is like, you ain't got to worry about that. When we get to when you're there, hopefully your physical ability is going to shine through on the film. But the biggest thing I can give you is they're going to say, this dude knows how to rush like a pro now. This guy knows how to use his hands like a pro now. This guy has eye discipline like a pro now. And so that's the thing I think a lot of guys get recruits and we got to get them to play and they're just trying to get them on the field. And so it's just run up the field. So the eyes are bad, the hands are bad, the angles are bad. And then situational awareness in college football because it goes so fast. I think people get away from that. That's huge in the NFL is if guys can make educated decisions. I think just working with Marvin again, being around him, that's going to be important. And so we're going to instill that in him from day one.
You mentioned Marvin, you got Herm, you got Antonio, you got yourself, a lot of NFL experience in this program. How valuable is that for these young kids that eventually want to get to that level to be able to pick a brain like yourself or Antonio or so on.
Yeah, it's invaluable. I mean, it's the most valuable thing that they can have. And I'm gonna tell you like this: people like to sugarcoat it and say, or downplay it and say, "Oh, football's football." It's a different animal. It's a different animal, and just the amount of detail that goes into a weekly game plan. Now, I know we're not going to probably change the ins and outs of our defense the way we do in the NFL, but there's just 1,000 things I've already talked to you guys about: the hands, the feet, the angles, situational awareness. Being able to you're going to have to study to be in the right position on Sundays. You have to. There is no, hey, hopefully it's all going to work out. No, you have to make sure that you study during the week and that you have a very detailed plan with how I'm going to be that guy. And so it's a little bit different. So I think it's invaluable that these guys understand it. And also, there's a lot of energy that guys spend on things that aren't going to help them at the next level. And it's unbelievable when I talk to guys and I say, well, what did you do for this or what did you do for that? And they start talking to me, oh, I'm working with this guy and working with that guy. And as a coach, I'm like, I don't care. That's not going to help me. That's not helping you. So they waste money, time, and effort doing a lot of things that aren't important. So having these guys here, Marvin, myself, AP, guys that understand, dude, that's wasted time, wasted movement. Let's focus on the stuff that's important. Let's make sure that we're dialed in and getting the right alignment, right assignment, great technique. If you hone in on those things and get great at those things, that's what the NFL is in a nutshell.
How about for you personally? I mean, because Herm Edwards, Marvin Lewis, they could call plenty of coaches that have NFL experience, but they came after you and wanted you to join what they're building here. What does that mean to you?
It means the world. No, it really does. And, I understand they've had movement here. I'm trying to tell these players that, I'm not trying to chase money. I'm not trying to chase anything but establishing a tradition of great defensive line play here. Because I owe Coach Edwards and Coach Lewis that for coming and getting me and giving me this opportunity. I didn't know I wanted it. I told all my players, I said, I left my dream job for my dream job. But I didn't realize it. I didn't realize everybody said college. I was like, I don't want to go to college. This is different. This is special. And that's what's really cool is when I walk into somebody's living room and explain to them, this is a unique experience from anywhere in the country. What you're going to get and what I'm allowed to contribute to. Because if I go to some other school and they're just like, hey, Rob, I know you coach in the NFL, but I would really just want to run up the field like everybody else in college football. I'm not no more valuable than I was when I was a GA, you know what I mean? But because they're allowing me to, all that work I did and all the expertise that I built up, the hard work that I built up over the last couple of years, and being mentored by the best defensive line coach in football, being allowed to bring that here to these guys, that makes me valuable. It makes me, allows me to try to establish myself as a coach. So it means the absolute world to me. And I can already tell you this, the day I took this job, I got 5 calls from coaches in the NFL, scouts, that knew Coach Edwards. And the media doesn't know half the stories of all the good things he's done for people behind the scenes. Just being charitable and giving with his time and doing things for people. And it I'd already taken the job. So it energized me more like, dude, I'm going to go work for a great man. And he's already done some things in this 1 week to reinforce that I'm working for the right guy. And those guys deserve loyalty. That's how, me.
Right, yeah.
And that's how I'm brought up. And I'm a loyal guy. I was loyal to Mike Price, loyal to Mike Zimmer. I'll be loyal to Coach because he's already paying it forward, man. He's already given me so much. But this opportunity to be here, I didn't know I wanted this as bad as I do. Like once I got here, I'm like, dude, I'm in the perfect spot. I haven't worn a jacket since I got off the plane. It's been fantastic.
I'm going to age myself to you guys, but I covered this guy in high school when he was the main running back in El Paso. My only question is, how come I keep getting older, but you stay the same? How did that work?
See, I'm getting older from right here. You guys can see the face right here with the belly and everything. That's getting older fast, dude. And when my kids get all energized and I ain't got the energy for them, that's when I feel real old, brother. But this game keeps you young. I'll say this. This game keeps you young and coaching keeps you young. They've been playing the music, the language, the way they talk. You gotta catch up fast because you gotta communicate with these dudes. And being here, there's an energy here that's really got me invigorated. So I'm excited, man. Hopefully I'll keep getting younger, big dog. Hopefully I'll keep that up, man.
What's your process like in terms of learning your personnel? Do you go watch a lot of them? Or
Yeah, so I've watched them play, and so what we look for with the Vikings and what I look for as a coach is skill set, okay? You have to trust in yourself as a coach 9 times out of 10 to say that, okay, if this guy can do it, I can teach it, and I can get him to do it. So the hard part about what we do is, again, it's not going to be easy to learn. So these guys are going to have to do it 1,000 times, 10,000 times to become experts at it, till their body starts reacting. But once they do, that skill set will take over. So I'm looking for skill set before anything. You know, you're looking for length and speed and all that stuff. Yes, but can they bend? How do their feet move when they make contact? Kind of all the stuff that we look for in the draft. You know what I mean? The second thing is that I'm in the process of doing it now, bringing them in, getting to know them as people, because every individual learns differently. So if I'm a cookie cutter coach and say, I do it this way, then I'm gonna reach 3 of you, but one of you gets left by the wayside. He may be the Hall of Famer. He may be the guy. And I didn't reach him because I didn't take the time to find out his learning, what motivates him, all that good stuff. That's what makes us, working for Andre Patterson, I learned that day one. Everybody learns differently. Everybody sees the world differently. So I got to get to know them as people a little bit. That helps me as a coach. But I'm a communicator, and I'm going to make sure that I'm a teacher. And I'm somebody that I'm going to show my work ethic every day. So you got to match it. You got to match it. You know what I mean? And so it should be evident in the room how hard coach works and how detailed I'm going to be. That's important to the players. But my process is get to know you, get to know what motivates you, get to know what ticks for you. How do you learn? You learn on paper? Do you learn by doing it? Do you learn on film? Is it a mix of all that stuff? But I got to get to know my guys. We're also going to have a real high standard. You should see a disciplined group that really takes a lot of pride in the way they work day after day after day. It's the way we did it in Minnesota. It's just a blue-collar work ethic and put your egos to the side. And we got a lot out of those guys.